What happens when the person who fed you every day starts feeding the world your darkest secrets? For months, the NFL world has been obsessed with Stefon Diggs' sideline outbursts, his cryptic tweets, and his sudden team shifts. But while everyone was looking at the scoreboard, a massive storm was brewing inside his private kitchen. Now, the silence has finally been shattered. A former personal chef, once a trusted member of Diggs' inner circle, has officially stepped out of the shadows. And they aren't just talking about meal prep. We are talking about bombshell allegations involving a hidden pregnancy, a web of hush money claims, and a lifestyle of secrecy that is finally catching up to one of the league's biggest stars. But here's where things take a turn no one saw coming. Cardi B has entered the chat. The queen of hip-hop didn't just comment, she went scorched earth. Known for having her ear to the streets and her pulse on the industry's underground gossip, Cardi's explosive reaction has sent shockwaves through social media. Why is she so invested? Does she know the woman involved? Or is she exposing a pattern of behavior that the public was never supposed to see? In today's deep dive, we are peeling back the layers of this high-stakes drama. We have the exclusive details from the chef's testimony, the timeline of the alleged pregnancy that Diggs reportedly tried to keep under wraps, and the exact moment Cardi B decided to put it all on blast. Is this a case of a disgruntled employee looking for a payday, or is the former chef the only person brave enough to tell the truth about what really goes on behind closed doors? This isn't just sports news. This is a collision of NFL stardom and Hollywood scandal. Buckle up, because the receipts are being pulled, and the truth is much messier than the headlines suggest. Let's get into the details of the scandal that is threatening to sideline Stefon Diggs' reputation forever. To understand how we got here, we have to look past the stadium lights and the multi-million-dollar contracts. We have to look at the one place where a public figure is most vulnerable, their home. For over a year, the former chef, who we will refer to as Chef X, to respect the ongoing legal tensions, was the gatekeeper of Stefon Diggs' nutrition, schedule, and by extension, his privacy. In the world of elite athletes, a personal chef isn't just someone who cooks. They are often the fly on the wall for the most private conversations imaginable. According to Chef X, the atmosphere inside Diggs' residence shifted dramatically around late last year. What used to be a focused high-performance environment turned into a fortress of secrets. The chef claims that the first red flag wasn't a conversation, but a change in the household routine. Sudden, unannounced guests, whispered phone calls in the hallway, and a level of paranoia that seemed to escalate every time a certain name was mentioned. The chef describes a situation where Diggs became increasingly protective of his phone and his schedule, often canceling team-related events for personal matters that never quite added up. But the real bombshell came when the chef noticed a new presence in the home, a woman whose identity was being kept strictly under wraps. I was told to prepare specific meals full of rich foods, ginger teas for morning sickness, and high-nutrient snacks that weren't part of an NFL player's diet, the chef revealed in a leaked statement. At first, the staff assumed it was just a visiting relative or a health kick, but the medical visits and the arrival of specialized equipment told a different story. The chef alleges that a pregnancy was not just a rumor, it was a reality being managed like a high-level covert operation. The tension reached a breaking point when the chef reportedly overheard a heated argument regarding an NDAA non-disclosure agreement. It is alleged that Diggs was adamant about keeping this news out of the tabloids, fearing it would distract from his career moves and trade negotiations. The chef claims they were asked to sign a new, much more restrictive contract that would essentially buy their silence regarding anything seen or heard within the house. When the chef hesitated, citing the ethical weight of the situation, the relationship soured instantly. "I wasn't fired because the food was bad," the chef stated. "I was fired because I saw the one thing Stefon wasn't ready for the world to know. This wasn't just about a baby, it was about the control of a narrative." The chef describes a moment where they were escorted off the property by security, left with a final paycheck and a stern warning. What happens in this house stays in this house. But as we've seen time and time again in the age of social media, secrets have a way of leaking through the cracks. The fallout from this dismissal was immediate. The chef, feeling discarded after months of loyal service, began documenting the timeline of events. They kept records of the pregnancy-safe grocery lists, the dates of the clandestine visits, and the atmosphere of intimidation that allegedly took over the household. These aren't just bitter employee rants. These are detailed accounts that provide a window into a side of Stefon Diggs the public has never seen. What makes this even more compelling is the timing. During this exact period, Diggs' performance on the field and his interactions with his team were being scrutinized. Fans noticed he was off. He seemed frustrated, distracted, and often lashed out at the media. While analysts were blaming team chemistry or play calling, the chef's story suggests the real distraction was much more personal. The pressure of maintaining a secret of this magnitude while managing a high-profile NFL career was reportedly starting to crack the foundation. But why speak out now? The chef claims it's about the truth and the woman involved. They allege that the person at the center of this pregnancy drama was being sidelined and silenced just as much as the staff was. By speaking out, the chef claims they are giving a voice to a situation that was being swept under the rug with high-priced lawyers and intimidating tactics. As the chef's story began to circulate in small circles, it was only a matter of time before someone with a massive platform caught wind of it. The sports world was skeptical, but the entertainment world was ready to listen. People started asking, who is this woman? How long has this been going on? And most importantly, is there proof? The chef hints at receipts that go beyond just words, digital footprints that confirm the medical appointments and the secret arrangements made to keep the pregnancy hidden. This is where the story shifts from a workplace dispute to a full-blown cultural scandal. The narrative was no longer about a disgruntled chef, it was about the accountability of a superstar. Just as the rumors were reaching a fever pitch, a very familiar voice decided to weigh in, turning a flickering flame into a massive forest fire. The stage was set. The chef had spoken. The evidence was being compiled. And then, the notification. That changed everything popped up on everyone's screens. Cardi B was live. The transition from the kitchen to the world stage happened in an instant. Cardi didn't just mention the drama, she validated it in a way that only she can. Her reaction wasn't just a comment. It was a signal to the world that there was fire behind all this smoke. But to understand why Cardi B's reaction was so pivotal, we have to look at the specific history she has with this circle and the hidden messages she dropped that point. Directly back to the chef's original claims, the moment the former chef went public, the internet went into a tailspin. But the real explosion happened when a notification hit millions of phones. Cardi B was going live. In the world of digital drama, a celebrity reaction is fuel, but a Cardi B reaction is an entire wildfire. Cardi didn't just offer a passing comment. She stepped into the arena with the confidence of someone who had seen the contract, heard the whispers, and knew exactly where the bodies were buried. Cardi's live session started with her trademark unfiltered energy, but it quickly took a dark, serious turn. "We see it every day in this industry," she told her viewers. "These men think that because they got a jersey on their back or a couple of zeros in the bank, they can treat people like disposable employees even when it comes to a whole human life." While she didn't say Stefon Diggs' name in the first 30 seconds, the Cardi gang knew exactly who she was talking about. She referenced the kitchen drama and the hush money contracts, directly validating the chef's claims that there was a coordinated effort to keep a pregnancy under wraps. But why was Cardi so triggered by this specific situation? Insiders suggest that Cardi's connection to this drama is deeper than just industry gossip. Rumors have been circulating for months that Cardi and Diggs move in the same elite circles in New York and Miami. Some even claim that Cardi has a personal friendship with the woman at the center of the pregnancy allegations. By speaking out, Cardi wasn't just being a keyboard warrior. She was acting as a high-profile shield for a woman who allegedly felt intimidated by Diggs' legal team. As the live continued, Cardi dropped what fans are calling the breadcrumbs. She hinted at a series of text messages and voice notes that allegedly proved Diggs was aware of the pregnancy as far back as last season. "Don't play with me," she warned, "because I got friends who were in that house. I got friends who saw the doctor visits. You can't NDA the whole world." This was a direct shot at the fortress of secrets the chef described in part. It suggested that the chef wasn't a lone whistleblower. They were part of a growing group of people ready to hold the superstar accountable. The reaction from Diggs' camp was swift but desperate. Within hours of Cardi's live, sources close to the NFL star released a statement calling the allegations pure fiction and a coordinated character assassination. They doubled down on the narrative that the chef was simply a disgruntled former employee who had been fired for professional negligence and was now looking for a payday. They even went as far as to suggest that Cardi B was being misinformed and manipulated by people looking to extort Diggs. However, the extortion narrative started to crumble when Cardi doubled down. She took to X, formerly Twitter, to post a series of cryptic screenshots images of medical facility locations and timestamps that matched the chef's timeline. Although she deleted them within minutes, the internet had already taken receipts. The digital trail was starting to align perfectly with the chef's story of secret appointments and hidden arrangements. This is where the name war in the media truly began. On one side, you had the sports analysts trying to keep the focus on Diggs' trade value and his performance on the field. On the other side, you had the culture commentators, led by Cardi B, demanding to know the truth about the hidden family. Cardi's involvement shifted the conversation from a simple HR dispute to a massive debate about the baby mama culture in professional sports and the lengths stars will go to protect their clean brand image. What's even more fascinating is how this affected the locker room. Reports surfaced that some of Diggs' teammates were distracted by the noise. It's hard to focus on a playbook when your star receiver is trending for a pregnancy cover-up, and the biggest female rapper in the world is calling him out on a public platform. The chef's allegations of a toxic household were now being mirrored by rumors of a toxic locker room. As the pressure of the scandal began to weigh on everyone involved, Cardi B's final punch in this round was a direct challenge to Diggs' management. She claimed that the NDAs are going to fail because the truth is too big for a piece of paper. This statement sent a clear message. The chef was just the beginning. By lending her platform and her massive influence to the chef's story, Cardi ensured that this wouldn't just be a one-day headline. She turned a private dispute into a public trial. As we look at the wreckage of this PR disaster, one thing is clear. Stefon Diggs is no longer just fighting for a Super Bowl ring. He's fighting for his reputation. The chef provided the match, but Cardi B poured the gasoline. The question now isn't if the truth will come out, but when the next person from inside that house will decide to follow the chef's lead. The rumors were loud, but the courtroom is where they finally became a permanent record. As we move into the final stage of this investigation, the focus shifts from social media live lives to a high-stakes legal battle in Massachusetts. The former chef, now identified as Jamila Adams, didn't just come out with stories. She came out with a lawsuit that has sent Stefon Diggs' career into a tailspin. While fans were debating the pregnancy rumors, Adams was in court testifying about a much darker side of the Diggs inner circle. In a tearful testimony that gripped the sports world, Jamila Adams detailed a relationship that was far more complicated than just boss and employee. She testified that her connection with the NFL star actually began as a personal sexual relationship before she was even hired. In February 2025, she described moving into his home, cooking his meals for $2,000 a week, and witnessing the intense pressure of his NFL recovery. But the most shocking part of her testimony involved an alleged December 2025 incident, night where the Fortress of Secrets reportedly turned into a scene of violence. Adams alleges that Diggs confronted her over rumors that she was leaking information about him sleeping with other staff members. She testified that the confrontation turned physical, claiming Diggs entered her bedroom, slapped her, and put her in a headlock. He took his arm and came around my neck and began to choke me, she told the court. These aren't just gossip points anymore. These are sworn statements in an assault trial that could carry serious jail time. Diggs has pleaded not guilty, with his legal team calling the entire story a coordinated fabrication. But the damage to his clean brand is already done. But wait, how does the pregnancy fit into this legal mess? During the trial, the timeline of Jamila Adams' residency in the house perfectly aligns with the period where pregnancy-safe meals and medical visits were being reported. While Diggs' team tries to paint Adams as a disgruntled worker, the culture commentators, including Cardi B, have pointed out that this pattern of silencing employees is exactly how high-profile stars manage their hidden families. In fact, it was revealed that Diggs welcomed a son in November 2025. The same month, he was reportedly dating Cardi B and multiple other women. This brings us to the financial wreckage. The NFL is a business, and drama is expensive. In March 2026, the New England Patriots made the shocking decision to release Diggs, a move that cleared a staggering $16.8 million in cap space. While the team cited football reasons, insiders suggest the mounting legal fees, the assault trial, and the constant social media firestorm from Cardi B made Diggs too toxic for the locker room. One of the league's top receivers is now a free agent, not because he lost his speed, but because he lost control of his narrative. And what about Cardi B? The plot thickened just yesterday. Despite the crash-outs and the public dragging, Cardi and Diggs were spotted looking very cozy at a Mother's Day event for the Diggs Deep Foundation. They were seen sharing a kiss and hugging, sparking rumors of a reconciliation. This has left fans completely confused. Is Cardi B standing by him to present a united front against the lawsuits? Or is she just as trapped in the web as the former chef claimed? Critics are calling it a PR stunt to soften Diggs' image before the trial reaches a verdict. By having a superstar like Cardi B, who is also the mother of his newest child, by his side, Diggs' team hopes to show the jury and the public that he is a family man, not the aggressor described in Jamila Adams' testimony. But the Cardi gang isn't convinced. They remember the deleted tweets and the receipts she threatened to drop. The tension between Cardi's personal feelings and the legal reality of Diggs' 5 other children with 5 different women is a ticking time bomb. As we conclude this investigation, the question remains, can Stefon Diggs survive this? He is currently waiting for clarity in the courtroom while his career is in a holding pattern. The chef's testimony has provided a voice for the staff members who were allegedly treated as disposable. And Cardi B's involvement has ensured that the world doesn't look away, whether it's a hidden pregnancy, a hush-money deal, or a physical altercation. The truth is no longer staying behind the closed doors of that New York mansion. Stefon Diggs' speed on the field is legendary. But in the court of public opinion, you can't outrun your secrets. We will be following every day of the trial and every cryptic post from Cardi B to bring you the final verdict on this scandal. This has been a deep dive into the collision of NFL power, rap royalty, and the kitchen confidential that changed everything. Best for boosting your comment section and getting the algorithm to push your video. Alright everyone, that is the deep dive into the storm surrounding Stefon Diggs and Cardi B. But now, the most important part of this investigation is your take. Do you think Cardi B is making a massive mistake by reconciling with Diggs while these legal battles are still active? Or do you believe the former chef is just looking for a payday? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm reading every single one and I want to see whose side you're on. Hashtag Team Cardi or hashtag Team Chef if you found these insights valuable. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We are tracking this story daily and you don't want to miss the final verdict. Tap that bell notification so you're the first to know when the receipts drop. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.